8 years ago, I became friends with a woman and watched her transform from being quiet, anxious, and miserable to becoming strong, confident, joyful, and free. And how did she do it? She did the work, and I'm talking about life's work. And she became an expert at tuning into her intuition, trusting herself, and following her heart. Her story inspires me, and today I hope it inspires you too. From a woman who went from feeling stuck at a job that she felt no connection to handing in her resignation with no backup plan to pay the bills, but instead she had a belief that the universe has her back. I can't wait for you to hear how this story turns out. If you're ready to hear what bravery and unapologetic confidence sounds like, then I'm totally ready to introduce you to my friend, Erin Hofer. You're listening to the Ashley Avis Podcast, the place to be for entrepreneurs who want to market and sell with confidence. Around here, we're chatting about personal branding, social media strategy, web design, email marketing, sales mastery, and so much more. My biggest mission is to help you effectively sell online with confidence and clarity. Ready to grow your business, bank account, and an online presence in a way that leaves you feeling liberated and excited? Subscribe and tune in every Tuesday with an open mind and a notepad. Let's do this. Okay, before I start the conversation, I want to ask you a quick question. When was the last time you showed up on video? It's been a while, eh? Instagram video content is the way to go for building strong connections, increasing your reach and engagement, and even impacting your sales, if I'm 100% honest. But a lot of us struggle with what to say and how to say it and the confidence to hit that little record button. That's why I created my latest free training, the Video with Confidence Crash Course. In this training, you will learn the secret to showing up with confidence and clarity in a way that feels authentic and fun. Quick, head to ashleyAvisMarketing.com/crash course to watch my free training today. You won't regret it. Now, on to the show. Hi, Erin, and welcome to the podcast, and thank you for being my first guest.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited. This is actually my first podcast recording too, so thanks for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you again for coming on. Now, I want everyone to hear your story. So can you start with the way back story and give us all the juicy details about what happened to you and your journey, pretty much like your career path and what happened?
Absolutely. All right. Well, basically, since I was 16, I worked in different kinds of retail settings, from clothing to big box, and then pretty much spent 11 years in the fitness industry after that. And that's where we met. Um, and about 4 years of those 11 at the end there, I was managing a fitness center, and I really enjoyed it. Like, it was a lot of fun. The people were amazing, but it wasn't really ever something I was truly passionate about. But I stuck with it anyways, because that's like back when I understood that you had to have a good job or career to be able to pay your bills, have benefits, set yourself for retirement, blah, blah, blah. But like, anything that you're passionate about was viewed as just a hobby, something you wouldn't really pursue full time or do. Um, you would just do on the side for fun. And like, that never felt right for me. Can you relate?
Yeah, 100%. I'm also multi-passionate and I've had a lot of side gigs, on the side. Never just wanted to have one thing that I do.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2015, that's when I first started to learn about, Reiki and essential oils and that kind of world. And I quickly developed a huge passion for both of those things, because something about it all felt right for me. So I decided to follow that instinct. And I got my level 1 and level 2 Reiki training, and I got my Aroma Touch Technique by doTERRA certification. And about a year after that, I opened up Red Pedicle, my little side business hobby, the just for fun thing I did on the side while I worked full time. And on average, I would book about 2 to 3 clients a month or so, because after working my 9 to 5, I just didn't feel like I had the time or the energy left over to be able to give more into it, even though I really wanted to. Now that was a while. I was going through a lot at the time too. I'd just become single after 12 years and living on my own for the very first time. And at this point, I was feeling, broken, lost, and totally disconnected from myself, full of different, social fears and anxieties that held me back. I just didn't know who I was anymore. So I did have a lot on my plate as well. Working full time and then going through this change in my life. But going through it was also really exciting because I was able to start healing and working on creating a new life that I could live on my own terms while I reconnected with myself again. So it was a really cool and special time for me. And then for the next 4 years, I worked really hard on myself, spending like hours upon hours of journaling out my thoughts and feelings and emotions, trying to dig deeper and deeper to uproot those fears and limiting thought patterns that I had developed. I also did things like I went to retreats, I read self-help books, I participated in different, healing techniques and like Reiki and sound healing with Gong. I enjoyed amazing, like just the beauty of nature, being outside. I found a soul tribe to connect with. Basically, all these little efforts helped me to unravel those fears and insecurities that had control over me, and then learning how to love and honor myself as is, as me right now.
And can I just say something, Erin? Like,
Yeah.
I think being your friend and seeing you through this journey, it was like Erin, something's going on with Erin right now. Like she just canceled our date because she wants to be alone and journal with her cat. Like,
Yeah.
what's up with that? Like, it was very obvious to me as a close friend of yours. Like, what is she doing? Isn't she alone right now? Like, why wouldn't she want to hang out with me? Like, you had really good boundaries for this healing too.
Yes, thank you. Yes, definitely. It's important to create those boundaries, healthy boundaries, when you tune into what you need in the moment and that like kind of self care mind frame. You give yourself that the space that you need, and it's not easy. I'm still working through things today. I think it's a lifelong journey, but now I know who I am, what I want, what's important to me, and I confidently stand in my truths because I'm not bothered by what other people think about, me or how I choose to live my life anymore. And let me tell you, life is so much easier when you don't care about what other people think and you can just be free to do your own thing, right? Because really, who is anyone to say there's a right and wrong to live? It just, yeah.
That's like how I call you now, my friend, my hippie friend in a meadow. Like you're just like, come over here, Ashley. It's so much fun over here. I'm like, okay, do I even know how? So I hope you're going to teach us a little bit about how, to let these things go. But keep going with your story.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I'm healing. I'm doing my own thing. I'm still working full time. I'm still doing, Reiki on the side and aroma touch. And then that's when the first lockdown hits in March 2020. And I find myself on a leave from my 9 to 5 for 3 months. Now I know like those were challenging times for a lot of people, and we are still in challenging times, but I gotta say, like those 3 months I had off from my 9 to 5 were a great blessing for me because even though I had already done a lot of work on myself, again, 4 years, guys, this situation gifted me an opportunity to finally like rest and reset and just feel how amazing it is to live freely, unbound by the 9 to 5 confining schedule. Oh man, I got outside, I played, I hiked, I kayaked and swam and read, journaled, spent hours at the beach and just like enjoyed the beautiful space I had in my world as I continued along, my healing and self-discovery journey. It was just fabulous. And then in
What?
about mid June 2020, I got that phone call that I'd be returning back to work in, 2 weeks at that time. And like right away, oh, my heart sank. My energy like immediately tensed. I became anxious. Everything inside me was like screaming, no, don't do it. I didn't want that, working lifestyle anymore. I didn't want to be stuck inside somewhere I didn't want to be, for 8+ hours every weekday of my life again and just like anxiously waiting for the weekend, where I could finally have some space. No. But I did. I went back.
And I think I remember this moment. I think I remember you called me or something to like, you're talking about it now, and I can tell like your voice is bubbly and you're looking back on it as a positive thing that happened. We're going to find out what actually came of this feeling soon, I hope. But I don't think you were happy about this day, right?
Oh no. When I actually got that phone call, I was hiking in the forest and I just started like running around the forest crying like no. But yeah, I do look back on it, with lots of gratitude and stuff because it showed me, it was a pivotal point that showed me exactly what I don't want, which at the exact same time shows me exactly what I do want. And then we have that choice to follow what we do want or go with what we don't want, or what we're most comfortable with, you know what I mean? And that's what I did. Even though I was feeling everything inside of me, I went back to try to feel it out.
So
Now,
you went back to the gym.
I went back to the gym, yeah, the 9 to 5. Now, I tell everyone, follow your heart, listen to your intuition, like what feels good for you. So when I did go back, it was like barely even a weekend. Like I knew what I had to do. I had to resign, and I handed in my resignation that following Monday. Because like if I'm gonna tell people to, feel out what feels good for you and go in that direction, then how can I go back to this job? It just doesn't make sense to me. So I resigned and it felt so amazing. And it was actually right at my birthday too, so it was like the time was aligning divinely as well. So I just knew it. But I still need to figure out something to do. I mean, I had my studio, that I was still doing on the side, and I knew I was going to open that full time. But I didn't really have like a solid plan in place, other than having a lot of faith in myself and in the universe, that if I follow my heart, I know I'll be taken care of.
Ooh, what did people say? I know you've got like friends and family that are close to you. Did you get any, like flack for quitting a
Oh,
job
yeah.
and not having a plan?
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. Pretty much like 9 out of 10 people, in my world, family, they couldn't understand why I would decide to do this, um, I got lots of flack pretty much, but you know what? It didn't let I didn't let their opinions affect my decision or how I felt about my decision. I think that's what's most important is just not letting other people's opinions or pretty much like any external factor waver the confidence you have in your truths.
Whoa.
That I know. Should you write that one
I'm
down?
like, well, can you just quickly teach me how to do that? Like how good you did it?
I think I just like made the decision that no, this is how I want to live my life, and
Mhm.
it's not going to be an alignment for everybody else, but it doesn't matter because my life isn't anybody else's life, just like your lives are nobody else's lives. So when you know yourself and you know what you want and you know your truths and you can stand by that, you just have the confidence to continue moving forward in the direction that feels good for you.
Right. And I guess so being mindful of who you're surrounding yourself with at a pivotal moment like this where you're trusting yourself and you're confident in yourself, and if you surround yourself with people that are not confident in your decision, thinking you're making the wrong decisions and can't see the future of your life is yours and yours alone, right? Like your decisions are yours. It's like you might want to be a little more careful of who you're spending your time with or communicating with, right? So like I know at this I know at this point, um, I was a huge fan of you quitting your job and starting your own business, and I remember being there cheering for you. And I just hope everyone, if you're listening right now and you want to make a big career move like this and you're worried about some of those people in your circle, find your cheerleaders, right?
It's so true. Absolutely. They say that you're the combination of the five most, prominent people in your life. So choose carefully who you spend time
Yeah.
with. But beyond that, there are these pivotal points that happen in your life that you do have to be mindful of and create different kinds of healthy boundaries from, people that might, waiver that for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. That is super healthy. You do not have you're not responsible, or you do not have to do anything or be there for anybody. I know that sounds kind of like cold, but it like you're your number one. It's
Mhm.
your life you're creating, and it's okay to adjust your exposure to different people as you go along your journey. It's not saying you're cutting people out, but you're just creating this boundary for now until you're at a point in your life where you can healthily bring these people back in, um, where you're not affected. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'd even argue that setting these healthy boundaries and showing people how to, have a relationship with you or love you is actually being there for those people, being the role model for them and saying like, "Look, this is completely okay to take time for yourself," you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm. So
It's true.
you quit your job, you had no plan. You had this little side gig, Red Pedal Co. on the side with 2 or 3 clients maybe a week. Um, how'd you pay the
Month.
bills? What?
Back
2 or
then, it
3
was 2
clients
to
a
3 clients
month?
a month. Yeah.
Oh, Erin, tell us what you did.
I know, right?
Uh-huh. A month.
Well, yeah. Well, that was when I didn't have the space or time in my life because I was working the 9 to 5 to really put forth that effort into, booking more than 2 to 3 clients a month. So getting rid of the 9 to 5 and creating that space in my life where I could be open to, receiving more bookings. That's the direction I went. I took the leap of faith because I trusted in my gut that all would work out and things will align and the clients will come and the bookings will come, the money will come, and it has. Like all along this way, because I'm following, my intuition and where my heart takes me, I've also received inspiration to create different things, like specialty Reiki packages for those who are ready to put in the effort for some deep inner work like I did, or specialty Reiki sessions for things like PMS relief.
Woo.
Um, yeah, right. Like who doesn't need that? Like, P.S. That's the best time to come for Reiki, ladies, is the PMS week, monthly maintenance. But
Mhm.
anyway, I also got my Reiki master level training as well, shortly after I left my job. So it all aligns when you are open to receiving, like the guidance of your heart.
Mm.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So, you know, things have been going great, through the months that I opened. So it was basically since July 2020, mid July 2020. Um, But then there was that second lockdown that hit, and I had to close my doors. I'm like,
Mm.
"No, I just opened them. Now I have to close them again." But, like, this is the thing, people, life changes, and you have to shift and pivot and go with the flow. Like, that's the big lesson. You can't really plan. You just gotta go with the flow. And there was definitely no way I was gonna go back to some 9 to 5 job somewhere I didn't wanna be. So what I did was I took a good look at my skills. What am I really good at, like, naturally, and then how can I make money doing that from home? So basically I'm good at like social media graphics and copywriting and, other kinds of graphic and design and website updates and editing and that kind of stuff. So I just put that out there with the faith in myself and in the universe that I will be taken care of. Like things will align. And guess what? Like right away, I gained entrepreneurial clients who not only needed help with all that kind of stuff, but who were also strong and empowered female leaders who valued my talent and expertise. So it's not like I'm just getting some, client or some job. It was like, it was, a female entrepreneur empowered, like the exact kind of people I want to work with,
Mm.
because that was the energy I was emitting out to the universe. That's what I wanted. That's what I put out there. And that's what, you get back. And now I've been fully supporting myself since then. My bills are paid, my basic needs are met. I can buy takeout if I want to. And for now, that's great enough for me because I love living this kind of life. I love being able to create the flexible and free lifestyle that I want for myself. Even though, yeah, of course it's been up and down, but everything always works out in the end. And most importantly, I love it.
And I love it for you, Erin. When I first met you, when you were still working in the fitness industry, and then seeing you go from opening up Red Pedal Co. and now having Red Pedal Co. still, but then also pivoting to make sure that you're still getting work, like you're doing the smart thing while we're open, closed during the pandemic. It's like you're just making it work and you're so much happier and you show up with so much more confidence, you know,
Thank
than
you.
past Erin.
It's so true. Yes. When we first met, oh man, I was like miserable. I was living a life I didn't want to be in the sense that I wasn't creating the life I wanted to have. Crystals and energy stuff was, like woo woo. I have no idea what that is. So to come from like, that's just a rock. What are you doing? To like this version of myself. It's so cool to have you in my life to see that transformation. So, thank you for all your support and encouragement and kindness. I appreciate that so much. And like I understand not everyone is like in a position to be able to do this. How I did, like, I'm single, I don't have kids, I'm living on my own. So all of that did play a factor, in it, I know, but like you don't have to make big leaps all at once. Like small gradual steps over time make a huge difference too. You just need to tune into your heart and listen to your gut and then just take like small actions towards a new direction. And like maybe knowing that you might have a little more confidence that, it is possible for you too in your own way. Like we're all unique, so like big leaps or small steps doesn't matter. If you follow where your heart takes you, you will be guided and you'll be taken care of because like everything is energy, like everything, money, relationships, your well-being, literally everything.
So can you give an example of some of the small steps you're talking about to like build this trust in your intuition and how to follow your heart? Like what are those little small steps that we can do?
One small step you can do is, basically journal out all of your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Because your thoughts, feelings, and emotions are a combination of your energy. And because everything is energy, you want to be really mindful of, what is going on in your mind. What are you thinking about? What's your inner dialect like? Um, how do you talk to yourself? And um how can you shift your mindset or shift your perspective of things? So I like to journal it all out because when you journal stuff, it slows down your thought process and lets you actually like process through what you're thinking. It's almost like it gives like tangible weight to your thoughts, this invisible thing, but it holds so much weight on you energetically. So when you write it out, something magical happens, man. When you take that pen and you write a thought down, like it processes through your emotions. So then you're creating more space, space in your mind, space in your emotions, space in your energy to be able to like hear where you should go next. So journaling is a huge thing.
I remember for everyone listening right now that just rolled their eyes, I'm like, oh, great. Another person that just told me I need to journal. I'm not a journaler. I don't want to journal. I just want to let you know that was me less
Yep.
than a year ago. I was like, I don't want to journal. That's just one more thing to put on my busy ass to do list, right? Like, I don't want to do it. But I'm the type of person that has a million thoughts that come at me all at once. And I think way too fast. And it's super easy for myself to get overwhelmed and taken aback by all of this. When you're journaling, it's like, okay, I see all these thoughts coming. I'm just going to slow them down by writing them down. And I write them down bullet points on my journal notepad, right? I have a bunch of journals everywhere now. call me call me what you want. I'm a journaler, which I never thought I would ever be
Yes.
able to identify with. But I've filled many books now because I just recognize in myself that I need to slow the thoughts down, and a great exercise or activity for me to do that to prevent the overwhelming anxious feeling is just to simply take the thought, jot it down. And you don't have to go back and read that journal entry. You never have to go back
No.
and read it if you don't want to, if you don't want to face those thoughts or feelings again. But the fact that they're on paper somewhere means you can go back and address them if you need to one day. Or it's like that pressure to remember is gone too. It's like it's in a book somewhere. I wrote it down. It's real. It's here. I can open that box when I'm ready. Or if I need to remember what's in the box, it's right there, you know?
Absolutely. And I like how you said pressure because I think a lot of people do feel pressure when it comes to journaling, like where do I start? What do I do? But let me tell you, there is no rhyme or reason. Just get that pen and start writing. Try to get out of your head and let the pen take the lead and just see what comes up. Like, sure, you can follow like the journal prompts or do like the gratitudes and all of that stuff, and they are fantastic. But there is no right or wrong. Take that pressure off of yourself and just have at her and see what happens.
Yeah. I love doing either lists because I'm a list person, or, and because it gets my thoughts out a little bit faster because there's going to be a lot in my brain, or I love like just stream of consciousness. Just start writing down what you're thinking, literally. What are the words that are popping in your mind and write them down. And then before you know it, it's been like 20 minutes and like 10 pages later, and you're like, what? I think I have a little bit of
Right?
clarity right now. Like, I think I just schooled myself or something, or I feel so much better. It kind of ties into something else you might want to talk about.
I have a feeling I know what you're going to say.
I want you to say it.
Is it the law of attraction?
Yeah.
I love the law of attraction.
hmm
So, because it's reflective of your energy, right? Your energy is your vibration. Your vibration is what you send out into the universe, and the law of attraction reads that vibration that you're sending out there, and it will send exactly what you're vibing right back to you. It's law. So, like maybe you heard of like what you give is what you get, or karma. It's kind of like that. So that's why you want to be really mindful of your thoughts, feelings, and emotions, which is the combination of your energy, which is your vibration that you're sending out to the universe, because the universe, through the law of attraction, is just going to give you more of that.
hmm
Right? So how do you talk to yourself? What do you think about, money, or like what is your beliefs that you have and hold on to, and do they serve you? So that was one of the major things that I like to journal about, was, the limiting thought patterns and belief systems that I had, and the social fears that controlled me. Like, where did they come from? Why do I have them? Are they serving me? What do they do for me? And then you just slowly break those things down, and then you're able to shift your beliefs and shift your perspective and change the way you think and feel about things, which changes your energy and changes the vibration you're sending out there. And then the law of attraction starts to provide you with these, little delicious experiences, or meetings with people, or these like little um, alignments along the way that you get to enjoy as you go to where you want to be.
And it might sound as simple as, it might sound simple, right? But it's actually not. It's not that easy to go deep into your limiting beliefs and then to uncover them and realize that they're there. So I feel like law of attraction. Yes, I just finished a book about the science of law of attraction. For anyone that thinks, "Ooh, that just sounds so woo-woo. If I want $1 million, I just have to meditate or journal about what it would be like to get $1 million." But it's like there's a lot more to it, right? Especially when you want to make change in your life and you are stuck in a rut. So, I mean, Erin is someone who does have these packages where she will coach you through it, and having some sort of support, whether it's Erin or another energy healer, or even just a friend, a therapist, a close family member, someone that you can talk through some of this stuff with, and having a support person for. Not saying, can you help me with the law of attraction, but can you help me just with some of these thoughts, feelings, and emotions, like my energy that I have? Because right now I feel like a lot of us are probably in more of a rut, or in maybe in more of a
Mhm.
depressed state, considering the limits that we've physically had with the pandemic and with 2020 and 2021, right? So it's
Yes.
like way easier said than done. And having a support person is probably my number one recommendation. What do you think?
Agreed completely. It is hard to do it on your own, for sure. And it goes back to surrounding yourself by those kinds of people and support that raise your vibration up, that encourage you to, to grow and be more you. Um, so yeah, I think that's definitely a big deal. So
Hmm.
it's like think about how you want to define things for yourself. Like whether it's like, well, okay, let's talk about success. We're talking to entrepreneurs out there, business owners. How do you want to define success for you? Is it by the size of your wallet? Because it certainly can be, and there is nothing wrong with that. Like you can be very, very successful by being like driven by money and going and getting it. For me though, it's about the size of my joy, because the vibration of joy resonates in love, in abundance, in clarity, in true happiness. So if I can focus on those kinds of thoughts, feelings, and emotions being my dominant vibration that I send out there, the law of attraction must return it to me. And what more could I need than that? So my goal is to vibrate joy, because then the rest will just come. And it
Hmm.
has so far.
I would totally define you as like a very joyful person, you know?
Oh, thank you.
Definitely that's a good word for you. Okay, so that was your story in a really great little nutshell. I loved, and I think like the most important part of the story was, or what I really hope listeners can get out of this, is that ability to trust your gut. So that day you were on the hike and you got called back into work, and you were crying and you were running around a forest and you were screaming no in your head and your whole body was telling you no, and you trusted your intuition. But like, how does someone get to that point? You had 4 years of self discovery in this 4 year, like, who am I? How am I going to live the best life journey? A lot of us are maybe at the beginning of that journey, or we're still struggling through the middle yucky part of it. Actually, this journey is like our entire life, isn't it? That's what you're going to say.
It
but,
is. Yeah. It's
but
literally never ending.
yeah. So, but you got so good in that moment. You had the confidence to trust your gut. Can you speak to that a little bit more about listening to your gut, or what our intuition is?
Absolutely. Well, your gut is your intuition, but you can't really hear it very well. Like if your mind is full of clutter, like the overthinking and the overwhelm. So when you work on clearing your mind through things like journaling or meditating or energy healing techniques or whatever it is that brings you that peace of mind, you're able to hear your intuition more clearly. But it's not enough just to like tune into your intuition. You need to then take trusted actions towards where it's pulling you. Because then the more you take those trusted actions, the more you will see that like following your gut and intuition actually leads you to those things like the new places and amazing people and impactful experiences that are meant to help you grow, like you, having you in my life, right? Like I think back at the photo shoots that you took, like when you were starting your marketing biz, they literally changed my life, those pictures of me. And like to all the business help and advice you've so generously helped me with along the way, like I'm not sure where I'd be without you. So I'm very grateful for you and thank you so much for being, a part of my life. So find those people.
Yes. Okay, so some might look back at your story and say that your story sounds like everything just happened in perfect timing. You had you had a 9 to 5, and then you got 3 months off, like set like 3 months off to do whatever you want. So it was probably really easy for you to make that decision to not want to go back. And for anyone that had got to stay at home, I would say got to, but had to stay at home
Mhm.
during pandemic times, like for a lot of them, it probably did feel like a drag to go back to that job they didn't want to go to. For some of us, we were probably like, heck yeah, I get to go back to work, right? But it
Right.
just seems like your story had a lot of like perfect timing, or you were able to very easily go with the flow. And watching how your business has progressed and then pivoted once again, it just seems so natural and easy. But can you speak to that a little bit more? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Okay, well, okay. Trust me, I've spent over like a decade trying to force my life to be something that it was never gonna be. And it's exhausting and it really does not feel good. Like, sure, like you can force your life and get pretty far. You know, you can fight to find all the answers you want at once, you know, going against the grain, you know, against the natural flow of your life and still be very successful. But the difference is when you give up control and let your intuition guide you, you're still creating your life, but you get to learn more through these divine experiences because of divine timing. So, me, you know, learning, spending those 4 years trying to like rediscover myself and be in tune with who I am again, I was able to pick up on um the alignment of, you know, the timing and my energy, how I was feeling. So I was able to pick up on those key pieces and then take small actions towards, you know, what I wanted. Is like you're not meant to have all the answers all at once. Like there, that's not the way life works. It's a journey through. So the answers you seek will come to you as you're ready to receive them. And that's because they're already within you. Like you have all the answers within you. They're just waiting to come to light when the time is right for you. So as you follow along your journey, you follow along your path, you listen to your intuition, you take these small steps towards what feels right or good or in alignment for you, then you start to receive the answers and you can keep going along your journey.
Okay. And you mentioned this divine timing, which might be new terminology or new language for people. Can you just tell us a little bit more about what you mean by divine timing?
Oh, I'd love to. So divine timing is about how literally everything happens at the perfect moment in time. So when you have this understanding of divine timing, you know, that everything happens at the perfect moment, you have a deep, like inner knowing that what is happening in your life is happening for you, you know, and at the perfect time for you know, for everyone, for everything, and for everywhere, basically, because you're able to view these things as something more. They're a learning opportunity. They're a needed experience for you to learn and grow from. So like so this knowing basically shifts your perspective from that victim role where you blame others and other factors in your life, you know, for all the things that are going wrong, into a creator role where you then take responsibility for your own life and actions, fully knowing that you are the sole creator of everything in your life. Because everything is energy, like I said, right? And the law of attraction provides you with whatever is in your vibration. So if you are taking on that creator role, you know that you like the reality around you is like you made that and you have all the power in you
Ooh,
to change it.
which could seem very heavy or hard to cope or accept if you're facing something that is surrounded by a lot of grief or a lot of sadness or a lot of loss. Like, how on earth could I have attracted this to me? How am I supposed to appreciate this experience because it hurts so much, right?
It's
Like
true.
it's so awesome to be like, when you're in a successful, happy, joyful, loving moment, to be like, I attracted this to me. This is amazing timing. Like I can accept this. But when it's something sorrowful or hard, it's like, how on earth am I going to get through this? And then to have that inner knowing inside, like, This is the way, this is what was supposed to happen. This is meant to be. Maybe not so much owning that I attracted this to me, but what am I supposed to be learning from this can be a pill we can swallow after we feel those feelings, right?
It's true. Yes. Because the other side of this is, yeah, you a lot of the times won't know until later.
Hmm.
You won't know why you went through what you went through, or what obstacle that was put in your place. Why was it there? How did you attract that in, or the reasons behind it until later. It could be the next day. It could be 5 years from now. It could be 20 years from now, anywhere
Yeah.
in between. You just have to trust and have faith in the fact that it happened when it happened for a reason. And you might not know
Hmm.
what that reason is right now, but you will eventually. And it'll all clicks and it all comes into place. So I know it can be heavy in the moment. Hold on to that trust and faith in yourself and that deep inner knowing that this is happening for a reason. Whether you're meant to know what it is now or later, there is still an underlying reason that will unfold for you.
And find your people for support. It's kind of like when you told me to start journaling a long time ago when I confided in you about some of my anxious thoughts, and I said no, and then no, and no. And then it took me how long before I picked up a pen and an empty book and started journaling? It was like I
Mhm.
wasn't ready yet, right? And so it's like once you realize divine timing is like, I'm supposed to be doing this now. Or it's like an instant forgiveness. Like it's okay that I didn't pick up the pen a year ago. I wasn't ready to, right? I was still
Yes,
feeling it, right? And then,
absolutely.
and the, I don't know anyone that can argue this, but like hindsight is always 2020. And when knowing that in the moment, it's like, it's that inner trust. Like, this is supposed to be happening. This will all make sense when I am older, to quote Olaf. Yes, I did. All right.
I
So,
love it.
yeah, and I love that we're talking about the law of attraction again. And we did already talk really about what it is and how it works in your life. But do you have anything else to speak on about how you can use the law of attraction in your business?
Absolutely. Well, okay. So the key is to basically train your mind to believe you are already where you want to be. So, like, the money is already in your bank account, your clients are already booked in, the cars in your driveway, whatever it is that you want, out of your business. Um, and you can do this, through things like vision boards or mantras, obviously journaling, meditation, or like anything that will help you focus on feeling the emotions of what it'll be like when you are where you want to be. Um, because like when you believe you are already there, then this becomes your dominant vibration that the law of attraction will pick up on, and then start aligning those fun and little delicious experiences and opportunities that will guide you towards getting what you want. Like
Hmm.
you fully believe your client is booked in, and then you wake up and you have a message on your phone, can I book in for a Reiki session? You're like, oh, okay. Like it all just kind of aligns that way. um because at the end of the day, it's not really about the things, the car in the driveway or the money in your wallet. It's about the emotions you want to feel from having these things, right? You want the freedom, you want the status, or like whatever it is. So the trick is to feel the emotions first, and then through the law of attraction it'll come to you, but as you become ready for it,
Hmm.
hence the journey.
And if anyone has ever took me off on my advice to go and read Jen Sincero's "You Are a Badass at Making Money," that's what this book is kind of about, specifically if you want to attract more money to your life. And I love you're saying like mantras, journaling, meditations. Jen Sincero writes this all in her book. So I said, these are the two books all of my clients need to read. And the first one is You Are a Badass at Making Money, where she teaches you her money mantra, what she journals about to uncover her limiting beliefs about money, how she does these visualizations about how rich she is. And it's really funny and it totally worked for her. She's now a multimillionaire, right? So I love how you're doing it too. And it's like this isn't the first time I've heard this. Jen Sincero's been talking about it since she wrote that book. And it's like people trust us here when we're saying like this is what you need to do, right?
Exactly. Exactly. It's a thing, man. Like I didn't make this up. I definitely learned from, reading books and finding those other people who have gone through this too. It's like who do you want to surround yourself with? It's that
Hmm.
same sort of concept. Like raise yourself up.
Yeah, and if you can't find the people that wrote the books and read their books, right?
Yes.
Watch the
Exactly.
movies, surround yourself with this positive energy with people that think you're already rich and watch what happens, right? So
Absolutely.
you've done a really good job of pivoting through 2020, quitting a job, opening up a new business like full time, going full steam ahead, having it close two times, and then pivoting now to have this virtual assistant business on the side. Can you just give us a little bit of advice about what to do when you're faced with a business challenge?
Definitely. And this is for business, for life, for everything. You just roll with it. You got to go with the flow. You got to tune into yourself and your intuition, and follow the signs, follow where your heart is guiding you. If you're tuned into your intuition and believe you will be taken care of, the universe will guide you. Like perception is reality. What you believe is real in your world. And that is what the real work is in life, I think, is to get out of your head and trust your intuition to guide you towards what you really want for yourself. Even if you're not so sure what that is just yet, still just allow what feels or follow what feels good for you.
I heard somewhere like you shouldn't be ever make a decision with your mind. You should make it with your body. Like listen to your
Mm,
gut or listen to your intuition. And I just from everything that you've said so far in this podcast is that it's like the more and more and more you trust your gut and you learn to tune inwards and get to know yourself, the more confident you'll be able to be moving forward in the present moment and then making decisions, right? So, one question I do want to ask all of my guests on this show is how do you define confidence?
well, that is a really good question. So, to me, like confidence is living unapologetically. Like unapologetically where you stand by your truths because you know who you are and you don't need the approval from any external source or person. Confidence is like unconditional self love.
Ooh. Wow. Okay, so I think all of my future guests are going to have to trump that one. It's going to be really hard. I love that. Confidence is living unapologetically you and having unconditional self love. I need that on a t shirt, I swear. Okay.
It's true.
And before we wrap this up today, I just want to know is there any last advice that you have for anyone listening today?
I would just say, like, go at your own pace. If you don't feel ready for a big leap like I did, like, that's okay because it's your unique life. So, taking small and gradual steps over time makes a huge difference too. So,
Mhm.
just try to, tune into your heart and listen to your gut, and then take whatever action steps you feel ready for, and move towards a new direction, and you will see as it starts to unfold before you. So don't worry about right or wrong or overthinking. Get out of your head, trust your gut, and just take those little small action steps that feel good and feel right for you in that moment.
Oh, I like that. Okay, awesome. Now, for everyone that's listening that has now fallen in love with you, where can they find you online and get more of you?
Oh, thank you. So you can find me on my website, redpetalco.com. I am also on Instagram and Facebook at redpetalco. And because journaling was such an important and impactful an integral part of my healing, I also wanted to help others by creating a journaling guide that's full of different questions and prompts that I intuitively use that really helped me through my journey. So if you go to my website, you can download this free guide. It's called Your Journaling Guide, and then I hope that it'll help you too.
Oh, I love that. And I definitely will be going to download that myself. Thank you, Erin, for being my first guest on the podcast.
My honor.
I hope everyone can reach out to you afterwards at redpetalco.com, or at redpetalco on Instagram, and get that guide, your journaling guide, which I will link in the show notes for today's episode. Yeah. Thanks, Erin.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ashley. I had a really great time. Thanks, everybody.
I hope you were inspired by that conversation just as much as I was. Now on to this week's tip of the week. As entrepreneurs, we usually wear a lot of different hats, and that can sometimes have us feeling like we're being pulled into a million different directions, right? So when that happens to me, I get overwhelmed. And if we're overwhelmed, it can be really hard to follow or tune into our intuition. So for this week's tip, I'm going to tell you one way that I overcome overwhelm and gain a little more perspective and clarity. I actually go out in nature. They say to spend 20 minutes a day in nature, 60 minutes if you're busy. And I think it's because nature has like this grounding pull. For me, a nice view and some fresh air does the trick. Sometimes I go for a drive with the windows down. Sometimes I go for a walk in the forest. Sometimes I just put on the Naturescape channel on the TV and watch a waterfall. And if you go back to Erin's story, she was actually on a nature hike when she got the news that she would have to be returning back to the job she never wanted to go back to. And I think she was able to process her feelings and really feel into her intuition because she was surrounded by the forest. So, is there a way that you can incorporate a little more outdoor time in your day or to get a little more nature in your day to help you quiet the voices and the external stimuli and turn within? Let me know what you think by sending me a message at Ashley Avis Co on Instagram. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And I can't wait for next week's episode where I'm going to be talking about my favorite content type, Instagram Reels, and how to use them to increase your sales. You're not going to want to miss this one. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Ashley Avis podcast. If you like what you heard today, subscribe or leave me a rating, or even better, tell a friend about the show. You can grab all of today's show notes at ashley.avismarketing.com. Plus, you can find more ways to simplify or strategize or just show up with confidence when marketing and selling online. Until next Tuesday, remember, you got this.